Obviously, you've been with Aaron Jones for quite a while, and now that you got a larger role in the office, what have you learned about him that maybe you didn't quite know, just in your previous?
Let's see, that's a good question. I mean, just being around the guy, you just see every day how big of a team guy he is, and he'll play any role necessary to help the team. But I mean, being around him for 1 year, you'll see that just what a great guy he is, what a great team guy he is, and just how explosive he is when he gets the ball in his hands. He's a fun player to have on your team for sure.
So does it seem like, just from watching them, it seems like they have a lot of guys in their front that can get pressure. Is that any more so than other teams, or do they have a lot?
No, we were looking at that, obviously when you get the depth chart and you're like, oh my gosh, Quinn's their backup, and Sue and Joseph, you're like, oh wow, this is a pretty solid. Brandon Graham, these guys are all pro guys that are and they're too deep. So it's going to be a huge challenge for us. There's no bad backups for their front, that's for sure. They do a great job with their front. Great job pass rushing and creating pressure. So that's going to be a huge challenge for us this week.
So even though it is a huge challenge, do you feel like your guys are a little more up for it when you managed on a short week to have your two studs who've been in and out of the lineup to be able to play on a short week and play all the snaps?
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice to know, you had that extra time after the Thursday game to let them recuperate. And so, yeah, you're definitely more confident going into a game to be able to run your offense and perform well, yes.
Their run defense has struggled this year, but then played really well against Indy, at least the second half last week. What have you seen from that group? Because it seems like you're talking about all the studs they have. You would think they're be better than they have been.
Yeah, I think for them, just watching them play, I'm sure they're stressing tackling and stuff like that because there's been a few issues with their defense on that. Their scheme's good. They are physical. It's one thing you watch and you're like, oh, these guys are pretty physical. But, yeah, teams have been able to run the ball on them pretty well.
So I know this is your first year as a coordinator, but obviously you've been part of game planning for the last 4 years. I'm wondering how different game planning is for an offense when you have a stud number one clear-cut wide receiver versus when you don't. How's the process?
Yeah, I think you're kind of spreading the ball around more. And when you got a stud wide out, you can just kind of put him one-on-one over there and say, all right, you handle this, and here's the concept. And you can rely on him to beat, if they go one-on-one with him, he's going to make a lot of plays. So it allows for, you to plan on defenses are going to put two guys over there, and now it should give you an advantage the other way. So, yeah, it kind of creates better pictures away from that wide receiver in the run and the pass game. So, yeah, it's more when you're planning, like, for example, when we had Tay, you didn't always know what their plan was going to be to stop him. So a lot of times we're getting a lot of looks that during the game, we're going through the game, and we're like, okay, this is what they're doing, and we have to adjust a lot more. Where now we kind of just see they're just playing their defense. So it kind of gives you a better, going into a game plan, kind of, all right, this is what they're going to do because they're not going to try and take away these guys or anything like that. I don't know if that answered your question or not.
It does. So how is it harder to plan? Because that actually.
I mean, it's harder to plan because you don't have the guy that's just going to go make the unbelievable plays. You know what I'm saying? So just the splash plays that you're like, oh, okay, that gets you on a crazy third down in the gold zone, makes a crazy catch, just stuff like that. So you just gotta earn it more. You really do, and that's one thing we're working through.
Does Christian attract any extra attention? Not that he's Devontae, but I mean.
Yeah, no, I think he will, and he has. Teams obviously have to take into account for his vertical threat and his size, and he's proving that more and more every time he's out there.
Are you, I don't want to say amazed, but when you see the stuff that Randall can do, and I know he doesn't like it.
Yes, I am.
I mean, the two catches he had on
yeah.
Thursday night, like, how is a guy that's, he's not old, but he's older.
Yeah, don't call him old.
Yeah, I'm aware.
Now, there's two things that stick out most about Cobb is he is such a great competitor, and he is so intelligent that even on a, banged up ankle, whatever, he can go out there and just use his intelligence and his drive and get open and make big plays. And that's what I love about the guy. He's just so competitive and just such a good team guy that it's fun to be around for sure. And he's good for the room, teaching young guys. Like his knowledge is incredible.
With Christian, how long did it take you on getting in OTAs, minicamp, training camp, whatever it was, where you realized that he was a special kind of athlete?
First practice. First time I saw him run routes, you saw the speed, his get off, and just how he attacked the secondary, and you're like, wow, this guy's has a chance to be pretty good.
What was it about that was different? Because you see guys run routes for a living.
Yeah, no, I think it was just his drive off the ball compared with his size. A lot of times you see a really fast guy that might not be very big, but he is 6'4", and he is coming off the rock at a good rate. So, yeah, just when you watch that the first time, you're like, wow, that's what impressed me the most right away.
Steno, what would it do for you guys? I was talking to Sammy the other day, and I think he feels like he hasn't contributed as much as he would have liked. What would it do for you guys? He said he feels as good as he's felt now, a couple of weeks out of the hamstring. What would it do for you guys if he can give you guys a lift?
Oh, yeah. I mean, having him out there, at 100% is a big boost for our offense. Just obviously gives you another weapon to get the ball. He's got strong hands. He's hard to tackle. Things like that. When he's playing at 100% and feeling good, he's a great weapon for us. So, yeah, I mean, having him out there is tremendous for us because it just gives you another piece to go make some plays.
So I don't know exactly how you grade drops. Joe Philbin always used to say if a guy touches it, he should catch it. Are your drops a little too high, your numbers?
Yeah, I would say so. Yes.
What do you think the reason for that is?
Lack of concentration, maybe hesitancy, there's all kinds of things, but it doesn't matter. If you're dropping the ball, you gotta catch it, There's no excuses.
So what do you think of what DeGuara has given you the last several weeks?
Yeah, I like how he's becoming more involved in the offense. He gives you versatility. Not only is he a movable piece in the blocking surface to create gaps, to give defenses problems, but he's also good in the pass game. He's a good team guy, plays hard, intelligent, and he gets the ball in his hands. He can make some plays too. So I like how he's being more involved, especially in the run game.